Hi, this is Brother Mike, and I'm coming back at you with a exciting and informative continuation of my saga relating to my interaction with the Worcester Police Department and their like-minded cronies in the court system and the political realm. I want to give a special shout out to all you peace officers out there that may be viewing, and to all of the people in the court system and the government who may also have taken an interest and are following this continuing saga. Want to just kind of bring you up to date on what's been going on. As you may know, way back in the, I think it was the month of, July 3rd, I was assaulted with a deadly weapon. Threats were made against me by a neighbor, and what ensued has really turned into, a little more than a very disturbing sequence of events. And I want to kind of bring you up to speed on where I am now. And if you're not familiar with the subject matter, we have other videos that have been posted, and you can consult those videos and get yourself a concept of what I'm talking about, and a better understanding of what I'm going to be discussing at the present time. Well, as some of you may know, I did file a complaint against the police because I was really disturbed by the manner in which the whole matter was handled, and the disparaging comments that were made to me by the police department, numerous members of the police department. In fact, every single member of the police department that I have ever had contact with has kind of ridiculed me and mocked me, for living in the area that I live in. And I think this reflects a mindset, that the authorities here do discriminate, based on where a crime victim lives. Every single person that I've talked to has informed me that I shouldn't be surprised at the attack that I was subjected to because of the nature of the community that I live in. And of course, this really set me off onto a journey. It's turned into a journey, where I feel like I have an obligation to bring to their attention their obligation to relate to me in a manner that does not incorporate, who I am, what I am, where I live. We call it equal protection under the law here in America. And apparently some of these police officers and other folks in positions of authority have forgotten this, Well, I filed my complaint, and I was contacted by a gentleman at the police department. He's in the Internal Affairs Division, I believe it's called, Gentleman, Lieutenant Kaczynski. Very nice guy. I went up there, of course, a little bit skeptical about what I was going to find. And I was pleased to find a gentleman about as old as I am, and we had, even had a few things in common. I had a very informal type of interview where I related to him, verbally, what I had experienced. He had the letter that I had authored, and you can get access to this letter in one of my videos. But, we had a really nice chat, and apparently had looked into the matter and agreed with me that things could have been handled a little bit better. Some of the actions of the police in the matter could have been done differently in a manner that would not cause me to experience the angst that I did and contribute to, you know, me feeling that I was being treated differently and really in a discriminatory manner. And he informed me that, you know, there would be a continued investigation, they would be doing some interviewing, and that I would be receiving a determination of their investigation in the mail. And I have received this determination in the mail, and I'd like to share it with you. You know, if you've been following along, I'm sure you're as eager as I am to discover, you know, what was their response. And there's nothing that I would rather do right now on this Thanksgiving Day than share this with you. And I have the letter right here. It is official business from the Worcester Police Department. There it is, just so you know that, you know, I'm not making this up, you know. And I'm going to read to you, okay? And this is on the stationery of Gary Gemme, I believe his name is. He's the chief of police, an embattled chief of police, too, by the way. There are other people besides myself who think that this person can do a much better job than he's doing. By reading the letter, Dear Mr. Morris, your complaint, which was filed with the Bureau of Professional Standards of the Worcester Police Department on July the 24th, against employees of this department, has been investigated by the unit commander. It has been established that a portion of your complaint is exonerated. I don't know what exactly that means. i.e., an incident did occur, but the officer acted lawfully and properly. Now, I'm not disputing the fact that this guy acted lawfully. I just think that he could have done a better job. And as far as him acting properly, I guess it's okay, you know, for police officers to discriminate against people based on where they live, and to call that matter to their attention and let them know that, you know, they should expect to be assaulted due to the neighborhood that they live in. Anyway, further, it has been established that a portion of your complaint is unfounded, i.e., the incident did not occur as you have related. Now, if you look at the video, you can see what they're talking about, or what I'm talking about anyway, what I had an objection to. And apparently, if I'm reading this correctly, the incident did not occur as you have related. I think that's like a synonym for you lied to us, all right? If you so desire, please feel free to contact the Bureau of Professional Standards for a further discussion regarding the disposition of your complaint, or if you are in need of any further assistance in this matter. The Bureau of Professional Standards can usually be contacted Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 508-799-8694. This department is committed to high standards of professionalism, and misconduct by its personnel will not be condoned or tolerated. We appreciate your bringing this matter to our attention so these standards can be maintained. Please be advised that the results of this investigation do not preclude or preempt you from bring this matter to the attention of another organization. The complaint, the investigation into it, and the findings shall be retained in the records of the Bureau of Professional Standards. So I guess they're informing me that they're going to keep on file the fact that I file complaints that are really lies. All right? I guess I'm a marked man there. I guess they're impeaching my credibility. Should I have further problems with the police department that require me to approach this Bureau of Professional Standards. And it's signed, very truly yours, Gary J. Gimme, Chief of Police. Okay. So I guess that's it. As far as they're concerned, their police officers, their personnel at the police department, the officer that handled the matter could do no wrong, and I'm a liar. Well, my opinion is that they can do this stuff and feel that they can get away with it. Or maybe they feel that because they're quote-unquote professionals, members of the professional elite, and I'm no more than a man off the street, their word against mine, is superior. Well, if you want to sum it up as far as I'm concerned, I believe that their response has added insult to injury. And it's just really a very disturbing matter for me, you would almost expect this, far be it from a police department or a governmental body, to admit, that they have done wrong, particularly when they're being opposed by someone, who is, just a regular citizen. There's nothing to be afraid of on their part. They can say anything they want to say because, it's my word against theirs. But I think you have to ask yourself, why would a guy, who's, pretty much lived in peace since I've been in this community for over a year now, go through these lengths, if I didn't feel that, there was something good that could come out of this. Maybe a better way of them relating to people. Maybe when they investigate a crime, in neighborhoods like mine, I was hoping that, they wouldn't feel like, they have the right to, talk down about your neighborhood and talk down about you for living in the neighborhood and indicate to you that because you live in a neighborhood like this that, you have to expect these things to happen. And, basically, why are you wasting our time, complaining about a crime, Well, the perpetrator of this crime, apparently, I was informed that he had a protective order on him, he's not to come near me or my house. And, as you know, for over a month, he still lived here, even though, the police were aware of what he did. They never took any kind of action to protect me by, removing him from the premises or anything like that. My landlord took care of that for me. Very nice gentleman, Jesus. He relocated the guy to another floor, so he wasn't right next door to me, and I wouldn't have to be like passing him in the hallway and that type of thing. And eventually, the guy was thrown out of the building. But it's about 3 weeks ago, I was down there talking to the landlord, and the landlord told me that the perpetrator had come back to him looking to move back into this building. Well, it seems to be a violation of the protective order. So, maybe he didn't get the message, or, maybe he felt that, he had a right to, come back here, and the matter still being pending, Now, here we are on Thanksgiving Day, November the 22nd. And, after I received this letter, I was like, geez, what the heck is going on with this guy? It seems like a long time. July 3rd, was the date of the incident. Now, this letter is dated July the 24th. July, August, September, October, November. Now here we are 4 months later, and I'm saying to myself, has this guy been prosecuted? You know, what's going on? You know, I haven't heard. Well, actually, it's funny because I did hear from the prosecutor, a gentleman named Mr. Lemieux, down at the courthouse. You know, matter of fact, I got a call from him just the other day. And hold on a minute, I'm gonna get my phone, all right? Thank you very much, because naturally I'm wondering, you know, what's going on? I mean, I had an eyewitness. In fact, I had 2 eyewitnesses to the assault. The police nor the prosecutor have interviewed any of the witnesses. You know, they have a report from me, and I believe they have a statement from the witness, but they have not attempted to, you know, glean any more information in terms of evidence that they can use against this guy in a trial from my eyewitness. My eyewitness hasn't even heard from them. And I'm saying to myself, how can they prosecute this matter without having that information? It would seem that eyewitness testimony to assault with a deadly weapon is probably the first thing that you should memorialize, you know, because people's minds forget things after a while. Eyewitness testimony has been shown to be not the most reliable testimony. So doesn't it make sense that you would get the information, interview the eyewitness as soon as possible if you were a prosecutor? Well, apparently, you know, this is an important matter to this guy. And it's been dragging on. You know, I want to be there when they have the trial because, of course, I want to, you know, put my 2 cents in. And I'm saying to myself, gee whiz, you know, when is this thing gonna jump off? Well, I got a call, all right, and you know, I work nights, so you know, I usually sleep during the day, and if there is going to be a trial on this matter or a hearing on this matter, you know, I want prior notification. They usually send you a summons, you know, so that I can get up or, you know, adjust my schedule accordingly so I can be available for the trial, you know. And I get this message from this gentleman at the courthouse. I woke up and I get this message from the guy, you know. I woke up at like 11 o'clock, and you know, of course, I'm really anticipating, you know, going to this trial.
One saved message. Saved message.
See if he hears this.
Hello, Mr. Morris. This is Jason Lee from the District Attorney's Office. I just wanted to let you know that the Adam Baez case was on today. I know the last time we spoke, you indicated that you worked tonight, so and you guys sleep during the day. I just wanted to let you know the case was on. You can reach me back at 508-755-8601. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
To replay this message.
Now let me ask you this. How would you feel if you were me? You wake up at 11 o'clock. The call came in at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, you go to your voicemail, and here's the prosecuting attorney, and you heard it telling me the trial is on for today. You know? I hadn't even, you know, I'm like just getting out of bed. Now, you know, as far as I was concerned, I was pissed because I'm saying to myself, the trial is on today, and here it is 11 o'clock, and I just got out of bed, you know, and this guy leaves me a message, the date of the trial, to let me know that it's on, and I don't have any faith in these people to begin with, and so therefore, you know, I started making telephone calls, you know, and I called up the district attorney's office and let them know that I really wasn't happy because this guy knows that I work at night, and it's difficult for me to be available in the morning. And he knowing this, he calls me on the date of the trial at like 7:30 in the morning, and tells me that the trial's on. I was upset, and I let the people down at the courthouse know that I was upset. And I told them, I says, I would have preferred to have some kind of prior notification, because based on the information that I have just received, there's a trial going on this matter right now, and I'm not there, and I'm the victim. And it seems absurd that you should have a trial on the matter without me even having spoken to the prosecuting attorney, and then I'm not even there for the trial. How's that fair? Oh boy, did they get upset? And I feel sorry for the woman. Yeah, she's an employee at the courthouse. Hey, I've been a clerk at a courthouse in Minnesota, and I know what goes on, in courthouses. And I'm sorry that I was upset, and that I upset the woman. Well, hey, I get a call back from the prosecutor. He informs me that the matter that is scheduled for that day, in fact, was not a trial, even though he said it was a trial, but some kind of a preliminary hearing, and that my presence wasn't necessarily required. Well, hey, even if it wasn't necessarily required, I would have liked to have had the option of either accepting or declining being there. But when you knowingly tell somebody on the date of the matter, and you know that this person works nights and is probably asleep when the message comes in and won't be available, I mean, how does that give me the right to exercise my option to be there? And I just felt that that was a further slap in my face as a crime victim, And this guy calls me back, and he is BS. He's yelling at me over the phone, accusing me of harassing his staff. And I informed him, I said, hey, look, man, I get a message that says the trial's on today. I have never even talked to anybody down there. I want to be at the trial. I'm the victim of this crime. Doesn't it make sense that I should be there? And at that point, he informs me that this is not the final disposition of the matter. Well, hey, if you're going to leave somebody a message, leave them a good message, leave them the correct message, leave them a message that accurately reflects what's going on, and don't lead them to believe that the trial is on. And then don't get upset because that person who is the crime victim is upset at not being able to be there. So he informs me that I can no longer communicate with his staff, and that if I have any dealings whatsoever with the courthouse or the prosecutor's office, it must be directly with him and with nobody else. In other words, I can't even go down there and talk to these people. I have to only speak with him. This is what he told me, and I was like, that's really ridiculous, And this guy comes off like a potentate from a banana republic, and I'm just some kind of vassal, some insignificant member of the community, who just happens to be the victim of the crime, and now I'm precluded from speaking to anybody about the matter but him. Well, what does that do to the administration of justice? Is that equal protection under the law? Is that the crime victim being able to take advantage of all of the steps that are supposed to go into adjudicating the matter? According to his telephone call, I can't even speak to a witness advocate now. So, I think that, his reaction, which was a gut reaction, a reactive type of response, to my being upset at not being given the opportunity to be at what I thought, based on, his message, was the trial of the matter, is something that he's offended by. Hey, well, guess what? I'm offended, and I'm the one that should be offended, and not him. And this guy's supposed to be a good wordsmith. He's supposed to be an expert at communication. Why don't you leave a decent message with somebody to give them a clear understanding of what's going on? And when you leave a vague and ambiguous message, that indicates that the trial is going to be happening today, and somebody calls you up and they're bullshit about not being able to get to the trial, don't call them back and be mad at them. Look, leave a decent message. So I just think that it's really a further offense, and consistent with the way this thing has been handled all along. But something, I am not really surprised by this, and I'm going to tell you why I'm not surprised. Because it boils down to what the Bible says. The Bible says that the systems of the world are earthly, naturally, because they're of the world; sensual, because they appeal to the senses. And demonic. It concludes that the systems of the world are demonic. Now, you would ask yourself, you say, Brother Mike, how can you say that the systems of the world are demonic? How can you make a conclusion that the court system is demonic? Well, I'm going to tell you how I can make that conclusion, okay? About not just the court system, but the police department, politics in general, the telephone company, hospitals. I don't care what kind of system it is. If it's a world system, people, it's demonic, and here's the reason why. Because the Bible says, let the master be the servant to all. Okay? That's God's way. Jesus Christ was a servant to his apostles. On the day before his crucifixion, he washed his apostles' feet. He did everything that he could possibly do. He raised people from the dead. He forgave people of their sins. His whole life was an act of servitude to a sin-sick world. And therefore he could assume the position of the master, because he was also the servant. You see what I'm saying? Now, and this is what's the matter with our world systems. They do not function as the servant. They function like this prosecutor, as though he's some kind of a potentate from some kind of banana republic, and we're just, a little people, that are used as merchandise to serve the system. And if I was going to kind of give you a symbolic view of what I'm talking about, look at this triangle. You see the triangle? This is what the world systems are like now. You've got this whole body of people on the bottom rung, the weakest among us, supporting the strongest. Right at the pinnacle of that triangle is the elite. And what do? They use us to support themselves. CEOs in corporations in America make about 500 times more money than does the person that serves them, the worker. Give you a classic example. The Caterpillar Tractor Company had $4.8 billion worth of profits last year. They're on track for $6 billion worth of profits in the calendar year 2012, and they're asking their employees to take a 6-year pay freeze and to freeze their pensions for 6 years. So the people that are responsible for these CEOs making obscene amounts of money, and these corporations being larded up, with all kinds of cash because of the work that their servants do, they're asking the servant to take a hit for 6 years on their pay. And this is why it's demonic. Because the weak are supporting the strong. It should be the other way around. The triangle should be standing on its head. The master should be the servant to all. And until we have that in America, and until we have that in our world systems, they are going to remain demonic. And we're going to be having this stuff happen. And people like me who are crime victims are going to be treated like, trash by these members of the professional elite who, when we come to them with a problem or with an accusation or with a prayer, for remediation of something that is untoward and insulting, they're going to call us liars, and they're going to basically just ignore us and treat us any way they want to. And if we grow stones big enough to complain, they're going to do just what this prosecutor did and forbid me from having discourse with anybody or communication with anybody at the courthouse, but him including the victim's advocate down there. So it doesn't surprise me, And I don't know. I just get sick of that, and I just pray for the day, when people come to their senses, and it just hurts me to see that this ethos, this manner in which we as regular citizens are related to, how it has impacted people in the city, particularly in the city of Worcester. You can really see it. It's very dramatic here. You got a populace that has a misery index that's off the charts, All you got to do is walk down Main Street and just look into the faces of some of the people that you meet, and you can see how badly beaten down they are. We got a big problem with prostitution in this town. I feel so sorry for those hookers, because whatever problem it is that they've experienced or whatever trauma that they've had in their lives, you would think that the masters of this place would address the underlying issues that cause these people to revert to this behavior, because if we lived in a just world, we would have less crime. We would have less people, going down the tracks and coming off the rails and reverting to behaviors that do nothing but exacerbate, their situations. While the rich get richer, and while these members of the professional elite, continue insulting and intimidating us, Well, anyway, I'm going to conclude. This is Brother Mike. It's just so wonderful being able to talk to you. And I'm going to keep you aware of what's going on, because eventually there's going to be a trial on this matter, and we'll find out what the conclusion is. So, thanks a lot, folks, and have a wonderful, wonderful, peaceful time in your life, and do the best you can. If you can't take it a day at a time, take it an hour at a time, because it's a wicked, sin-sick world out there, and part of the reason why is because the systems of the world that we depend on are absolutely demonic, and so are the people that run it. And that includes you, Chief of Police Jimmy. That includes you, Mr. Prosecutor. See you later.